Howdy folks, I'm charismatic Chrysis Arctic, carefully choosing colorful crystals.
I'm Amber.
And here are more colorful crystals for us to choose. We thought we were picking crystals, but they were actually Reddit stories, so they're not nearly as colorful, maybe even more colorful than the crystals. Let's get started. Alright folks, and our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Husband That I'll Divorce Him If He Doesn't Stop Ignoring Our Daughter? Me and my husband, a 46-year-old female and 49-year-old male, have a 17-year-old daughter who's leaving for college soon. But my husband's been ignoring her since her senior award ceremony back in mid-April. My husband is someone who loves making noises for no reason. He hums, whistles, taps his fingers or a pen, snaps, claps, and literally anything to make noise. He does this constantly. Our daughter has misophonia and hates any kind of repetitive noises. This isn't just a mild annoyance. She's in therapy and has even been medicated in the past to try to cope with this. Her main trigger is especially pen clicking. Well, my daughter is always either in her room or wearing headphones because my husband can't refrain from making noises that trigger her when she's around. The issue is back in April. My daughter had an awards ceremony because she was in the top 10% of her graduating class. During the ceremony, my husband brought along a pen and kept making noises with it during the whole ceremony. He was clicking it, snapping the metal clip over and over, and drumming it on the edge of the seat. I told him several times to stop, but he just told me that it wasn't that big of a deal. It was a big deal because the ceremony was being held in a small gym with a loud echo, so the sound was very loud. Everyone could hear it, and he did it the whole time. During the speeches, the awards were being handed out, the pledge, and the alma mater speech. Well, my daughter was sat next to us before she got called up, and she kept asking my dad to stop, but he told her to be quiet. When she was called up, and he kept doing it, she kept glaring at us from the platform and mouthing for us to stop. My husband only stopped after the ceremony and the students were released back to their seats. Well, my daughter didn't talk to her dad for the rest of the night, and in the morning he called her rude for not talking to him after he took off work to attend the ceremony. She blew up at him and said that he ruined it because she couldn't be happy during the ceremony because of his noises. She said that she hates how he can't stop for 5 minutes when it's an important event. Since then, my husband has been ignoring her and refused to help with her college packing and preparing. Well, a few days ago, he says that he doesn't think that we should pay the last bit of her tuition because of her attitude problems towards him, and that she needs to learn that her actions have consequences. Well, I blew up at him and said that I'm going to divorce him if he doesn't grow up and apologize to our daughter. I said that he was the one who was rude for making noises that our daughter can't stand at her award ceremony and for ignoring her when she was rightfully mad. I also said that he had been ridiculous for wanting to make her pay for college because she doesn't have that kind of money, and we had always promised that we would cover it if she had gotten it down to $5,000 a year. Her yearly tuition is roughly $2,500 a year with all of her scholarships. He now refuses to talk directly with either of us, but is still making comments about not paying the tuition with his money, and that I'll have to use my salary to cover it. The whole house is tense, and I'm wondering if I was actually the jerk for threatening to divorce. We were both raised Catholic, and even though we don't really practice anymore, divorce is still something that we always agreed is a last case in major situations and not petty arguments. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. The way he is behaving is entirely out of line. Like, why did he have a pen at the ceremony in the first place? Like, it seems like he probably does this to intentionally torment the daughter. And if he's doing this intentionally to torment her, that's terrible. But even if it's just a form of stimming, he could have found some quieter way to keep his hands busy during this ceremony, He knows this is something that particularly is very difficult for her, and he doesn't seem to care about her feelings at all. And on top of that, to threaten to revoke her college, or to insist on revoking her college funding, not even just threaten, because she ignored him for a night, like, that is huge jerk behavior. So, like, this isn't some small minor incident. It sounds like this is something that's been going on for years, where the daughter can't even leave her room because she doesn't feel comfortable in her own home.
So, the thing is, I think he needs therapy. I think if this is to the point where it's a compulsion that he is constantly doing this, then maybe there needs to be a point where or a therapist steps in and he can work through and talk with this. They also make fidget toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of different fidget toys that you can buy that don't make sounds. Like there are
Exactly.
fidget spinners,
Mm-hmm.
there are, like little fidget switches that you can move and stuff like that aren't clicky or anything like that. And he's a grown adult. He should know better than to sit around clicking his pen in an auditorium. Like, how more rude can you possibly be? Everyone else around him isn't clicking pens. Like, if everyone was doing that, it would be just an absolute cacophony, right? I mean, it just seems pretty inconsiderate that he would do this. He does owe OP an apology. He does owe his daughter an apology. And the fact is that, I know that OP is like, well, divorce is a last resort. Well, if he can't have a civil relationship with your daughter and he's making life uncomfortable and now he's even stonewalling you, this isn't a simple thing anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is getting pretty major.
Mm-hmm.
So they can either sit down in couples therapy and try to work this out while he goes into individual therapy, or if he refuses to come around, then maybe divorce is the way to go. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. And Bobby Pin Babe says, I have misophonia. I would have lost my cool. My guess is that your daughter's mental health will drastically improve after she moves away from your husband. And OP replies, I do hate to say this, but she's even said that she feels better that he's ignoring her because she doesn't have to hear the noises or hurt her ears wearing the headphones. She's been coming out of her shell more, spending time with her siblings and me, and her symptoms have improved over the summer. She even got one of her medication dosages lowered as a result of the improvement, which was major. The last time she had a dosage lowered was when they first were experimenting with medications at her ages 10 to 11. The guy is wrecking his daughter's mental health.
Yeah, that's awful. I also have misophonia, and the pain of having headphones in all the time, I can only wear them for so long because I also have sensitivity to that. Mm-hmm. And so I feel so bad for this poor girl that she is so tormented in her own home that she's had to be medicated to just exist.
Yeah. I don't know. It almost feels malicious at a certain point. Like, is this guy doing this on purpose to try to make her get over it or something like that? I don't know. And Bobby Pin Babe says, that must be bittersweet. And OP replies, very, especially because my husband and daughter were very close when she was a little kid. And Saint L Mindy F says, sounds like hubby might need some therapy of his own if he cannot stop doing it during important moments and in the public. And OP replies, he refuses. Said that he just likes to make noise and he doesn't have any mental problems. My husband is against therapy because he believes in toughen up mindset, but I've always been able to overrule him in that regards since I'm the one who takes the kids to the doctors. My daughter's been in and out of different types of therapy since she was 10 for different issues, most of which we all agree stem from her misophonia. I mean, I think that seals the deal. We all can see what's happening here. She should have divorced him a long time ago. Mm-hmm. This seems like a malicious, he's doing this on purpose to make his daughter toughen up.
Yeah, he doesn't believe that this is an actual issue, which it is, and is trying to, I'm curious of when this pen clicking really, because, people will absently click, but he's been doing this the entire relationship. Or is this something that has, developed as after the daughter got her diagnosis?
Yeah. So I'm going to just read OP's reply to this one because basically they want to know if OP goes to therapy or anything like that. OP replies, my husband is not diagnosed with any tic, attention, or compulsion-based disorder. He refuses to be seen or tested for any. My daughter goes to regular therapy and is on a few different medications to help her handle her other mental conditions that stem from her misophonia. I also go to a family therapy session with her to help understand her disorder and to help her with it. My husband refuses to attend family therapy with us. Your relationship is probably broken beyond repair at this point in time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the thing is that you cannot, you can click your pen all you want, but it's not going to, change someone's misophonia because it's a hypersensitivity to noise. Mm-hmm. It will just torment them and make them suffer.
And Gibson Girl 55 says, how long has your husband been this way? His obsessive clicking, drumming, humming, and tapping could possibly be a sign of OCD. It's a sure bet that he's annoyed others at the ceremony as well as your daughter. Get him checked by a doctor, not a jerk. And Opie replies, since I met him 25 years ago, he's been like this, and according to his friends and family, he's always been the loud child who liked to make noise. He did a lot of music and theater as a kid and teen because he likes singing and getting to make noises. Alright folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Saying That My Partner Isn't a Nice Guy for Walking Me to the Campsite Bathrooms? I don't think that I am, but this keeps getting brought up and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. I'm a 27-year-old female and I've been with my partner, a 38-year-old male, for 3 years. We broke up recently due to the way that he treats me. We are in a weird limbo state because he agreed to go to therapy. I don't think that will fix the issue though. Well, on to the problem. He kept bringing this up, not me. A few weeks ago, we went camping. The site was a new one for me and I'm unfamiliar with the area. Another thing to note that I'm completely night blind. Once it's dark, I cannot navigate. This is important and he knows this. We were having a good time, we had a few beers, and we burned the fire down to coals. I asked him if he could walk me down to the bathroom, which were about a mile away. I knew the general direction, but I didn't know where they were. He did because he had gone earlier in the day. I asked him to walk with me and he said, no, you're an adult. Go by yourself or pee in the woods. I asked again and explained 1, that it's dark, 2, I can't see, and 3, that I'm a little intoxicated, and 4, I'm a woman walking alone in the woods and I would appreciate his company, so I felt safe. Well, then he yelled at me and said that I can't do anything like an adult and all I ever do is rely on him and make him baby me, so stop being a child. This made me cry because I couldn't believe how he went from 0 to 100. After I cried, he walked me down and stomped the whole way, like military stomps. He wouldn't speak to me and stood outside the door. On the way back, he walked so far ahead of me that I couldn't see anymore, and I did get a little lost. He claims now that he was a loving partner and walked me down to the bathroom even though he didn't want to. And he told me that his therapist said that I was being unreasonable and manipulative, which I'm having a hard time believing. Note, I do the financial heavy lifting. I got him his current job, and I do the household work as well. I know that I'm a good partner, and I feel like I'm being gaslit. So am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
No, not the jerk. And if his therapist said that, it's only because he gave a very, very skewed recount of the situation. You made a completely reasonable ask. A good partner, as long as they're physically able to, would have just been like, even if they were a little annoyed by the request, would have gotten up and walked with you to ensure that you felt safe and comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I could understand him being a little annoyed because it's late and probably didn't want to walk a mile there and a mile back because that's going to be like a 40-minute round trip or something like that. But I mean, you're out in the woods. What else are you going to be doing during that time, right? I mean, it's not like he's going to be sitting around playing video games or anything. Maybe he would be. I don't know.
Brought his Nintendo.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can certainly understand maybe being mildly annoyed at having to walk 2 miles. But again, like, it sounds like he didn't mind or object to that earlier when he did it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, the next thing that I'm kind of concerned about is what he's telling his therapist, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who is going to therapy to improve, to become a better partner, shouldn't be lying to their therapist, skewing things so that they look good. Then you're not, that completely defeats the point of therapy.
Well, and he's not doing this to actually improve. He's just doing this to appease OP and to try and convince her that, oh, my therapist says you're in the wrong, so clearly you have unreasonable expectations of me.
Yeah.
It's just another way to wear her down so that because OP is already doing everything in the relationship, he has a nice, easy coasting thing where just showing her basic respect and decency is too much.
Yeah. So OP should absolutely dump him and, stay dumped and don't get back together with this guy. He's just shown you who he really is and it isn't pleasant. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. All right, folks, and our next letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling My Wife That I Want to Be Alone in the Morning? I'm a male. I leave home for work in the AM, Monday through Friday. My wife, female, leaves earlier than me, so I'm usually by myself for 10 to 15 minutes every morning. No kids, just the 2 cats, been married for 9 years. So this morning, my wife didn't have to work early, and instead of sleeping in, she decided to get up with me. I asked her why she was up, and she said that she wanted to feed the cats and make sure that they had their meds. Well, I found her in the kitchen after she had fed the cats, watching videos on her phone. At that time, I'm usually by myself making coffee, so I told her to go back to bed and that I like being by myself in the morning. She left offended and is now upset and said that I'm mean because our kitchen and house is big enough and I shouldn't have said that. I explained to her that she is in my way if she's around watching videos and that she is making this a big fight. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think?
Yes, you're the jerk. Who died and made you king? This is both of your house, as far as I can tell. And also, do you even like your wife? It doesn't sound like you even tolerate her. Like, she just wanted to spend some time in the kitchen in the morning, which is perfectly normal.
Yeah.
I understand wanting your alone time, but you could have made your coffee and then went elsewhere in the house.
Yeah, I mean, I understand wanting alone time for 15 minutes, but can you not share one morning with your partner, right? Does it have to be so strict? Like, I mean, sure. I mean, plus they're going to have some more alone time on their commute to work, right? So, sure. Maybe, having someone encroach on your alone time can be a little inconvenient sometimes, right? But this was one morning, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's not like he never gets alone time and his wife is always following him around.
Yeah.
I would understand that more if that was the case, but it seems like it was just one morning where she happened to be in the kitchen, which is a natural place to be in the morning after you get up.
Yeah.
And he just wanted her to go disappear. Like, again, do you even like your wife?
Yeah, I mean, I could understand him being like, "Hey, hun, I really like the quiet in the mornings. It's hard for me to wake up and I get really grumpy in the mornings. You don't mind if we just kind of sit in silence, right?" Maybe that would be a way to approach the situation. I mean, it's always hard when two people have differing needs in that respect. And I know some people who they don't want to be talked to in the morning, right?
Yeah.
They don't want anyone to talk to them until they've had their coffee. They just want to sit in silence, wake up for a few minutes, and then talk, if they feel like it, right?
Yeah, well, from the sounds of it, she was just scrolling on her phone.
Yeah.
Entirely separate from him, which is the part that really gets me. Like, it sounds like just her presence bothers him.
Yeah. And if it's just her presence, if she wasn't, talking or, anything like that, then this was just plain rude and cruel at that point in time, right?
I mean, it was rude and cruel no matter what,
Yeah,
but it's
yeah,
extra bad if she's just existing and you're like, can you not be here right now?
Exactly. But let me know what you folks think. So anyhow, take care and good luck. But folks, let's see what the Wheel of Judgment has to say. Wheel of Judgment, turn, turn, turn. Tell us the judgment that OP's earned. You're the jerk, and you should apologize to humanity.
At least to your wife.
Maybe their wife's name is Humanity.
Could be.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she has a joke.
Why was the mountain always in motion?
Because there was an earthquake. I don't know.
Because it was Mount Rushmore.
Oh, I see. That's would make them in a very big hurry.
And it is Mountain Day today.
So go find yourself a mountain and go find yourself a molehill and make it into a mountain. And I have Mega Mint. All right, folks, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. Happy Manic Monday, folks. I hope your Monday is off to a great start. Amber, we need some kind of moral advice and or guidance, and please have it on how not to be a bad partner.
Treat your partner with love and respect, and that will go a long way toward not being a bad partner.
And don't click your pen all the time. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Bye.